Hello everyone, this is The Last Word and I'm Maria Shakil. Interim relief for Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah as the Karnataka High Court has directed the trial court to take no action against the Chief Minister following Governor Thawaar Chand Gehlot sanctioning the Congress leader's prosecution in the alleged Muda land scam case. Siddaramaiah had moved the High Court against the governors not to prosecute him, calling it illegal and without authority of law. The Chief Minister's legal team, being led by Abhishek Manu Singhvi, had prepared his defense, saying that allowing his prosecution posed a grave and imminent risk of irreparable harm to his reputation, as well as it will lead to disruption of governance and potentially result in political destabilisation. The High Court has said that there will be no precipitative action anytime. First up the story, then I bring in the guests.
It was protest versus counter-protest in Karnataka. On a day when the Chief Minister moved High Court seeking the quashing of the governor's go-ahead to prosecution in the alleged Muda scam. The Congress in Karnataka launched statewide protests against the governor, terming him the centre's puppet. While the BJP gathered at Vidhan Sauda, demanding the Chief Minister's resignation.
When Governor was convinced and sanction was accorded for prosecution, now their Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Congress party are making it as a political issue. They are protesting across the state against the governor when governor has acted as per the rule.
In the midst of all this, the Karnataka High Court began hearing the application moved by Siddaramaiah's counsel, Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Singhvi submitted that the order of the governor has no application of mind. He further contended that the governor's order was passed at breakneck speed. The Solicitor General argued that the governor has the right to act independently. The court deferred its proceedings to August 29th and said no precipitative action to be taken against the impugned sanction till then.
My conscience is very clear. ನಾನು ರಾಜಕೀಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ 40 ವರ್ಷಗಳಾಯಿತು. ನಿನ್ನೆಗೆ 40 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಪ್ಪುಚುಕ್ಕಿ ಇಲ್ಲ.
While this order of the Karnataka High Court provides temporary relief to Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah, the question is whether this is a fight for constitutional posts or whether it is political vendetta. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
So now that case will be taken up by the Karnataka High Court on August 29th. Till then, there is relief for Mr. Siddaramaiah. Joining me now is Dr. Sudha Halkai, spokesperson of Karnataka BJP. We have Nagaraju Yadav, spokesperson of the Congress. Sandeep Shastri, Director of Academics and National Coordinator of Lokniti. KV Dhananjay is the advocate of Supreme Court as well. Professor Shastri, speaking to you now, because we have seen the political blame game play out. One may say that, Raj Bhavans all over India in most of these non-BJP ruled states are acting in a partisan manner. Questions have been raised by those, governments as well, not one but multiple times. But if you look at this particular case, what appears clearly is that there is haste. The manner in which this entire show cause notice is issued, then the prosecution order is immediately placed by the governor. It looks like something is amiss here. Is the protocol being followed? Is the proceedings being followed? Clearly not.
Maria, as important is content, I think, is context. And it's not incidental that the office of the governor has been in controversy, especially in states where a party different from the center is in power. I am reminded today of what Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer said many years ago about the use of the discretionary power of the governor. He said, Yes, the power of the governor does have discretionary power, but there is no discretion which can be arbitrary. Discretion itself can never be arbitrary. So I think what we will see in the High Court in the coming hearing and what goes after that, will clearly see both a legal fight and a legal fight within the court and a political fight outside the court. I would be a little cautious in saying that the court has given a reprieve. I think the court has only said that until they take a decision, nothing should happen. So it's just that they have given time till the next hearing or till they complete their hearing.
Yes.
So to say it's a reprieve for the Chief Minister.
So interim relief is what we are saying.
Yeah. I'm not talking of you. I'm saying generally the talk that it's a reprieve for the Chief Minister, I think that's a slight overreach.
Okay. Okay, let me bring in the politicians now. Dr. Sudha Alkai, the BJP has been demanding his resignation, but you know, there is no reason for the Congress Chief Minister to resign. I mean, why should he resign at all?
Maria, there is a gross violation of law here because the corruption has taken place in a larger aspect, and that is why Mr. Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah has to resign. So there is no second question about it. And here the prorogation by the governor for the inquiry for the corruption of the Chief Minister keeps up the sanctity of the constitution, and it is keeping up the faith of the people over here. And the interim relief what is given by the Karnataka High Court is not a sense of relief for Mr. Siddaramaiah. If it is taken like that, it is
okay. So I'm going to point out one aspect of this petition, the writ petition which has been filed, and clearly on the basis of this writ petition that Mr. Siddaramaiah has got this interim relief. You know, the point that was made by Mr. Siddaramaiah was that there is a clear violation of constitutional mandate which has been enshrined under Article 163 of the Constitution. And Article 163(1) says that there shall be a council of ministers with the Chief Minister at the head to aid and advise the governor in the exercise of his functions. In this particular case, the governor was advised not to issue a prosecution sanction, but he went ahead and did it.
Maria, there was a similar case in Supreme Court, and the Honorable Supreme Court has given the same verdict in 2004, where it was between the Madhya Pradesh police establishment and the Madhya Pradesh state, where there was a bench of 5 judges, and it was given in favor of the governor that the governor can take the decision when there is a corruption charges against the Chief Minister. The governor has all the rights to give permission for the inquiry of the case.
Okay.
As per that, the case is should go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Yadav, temporary relief, yes, but certainly Mr. Siddaramaiah, I would say, is fighting one of the toughest battles of his life and political career.
Good evening, Maria, madam. The idea is this: now we have gone to the court is only because the act of governor is completely unconstitutional, because not only the aid and advice of the cabinet to be taken into, he should apply the mind in such a way, whatever decision he takes, it should be within the parameters of law, which is not there in the parameters of law, because he's entertained 3 petitions which is given by the private people. If an agency, any investigation agency, whether Lokayukta or the DGP of Karnataka would ask for permission of prosecution, it would have been a fine matter to discuss. But now if he starts doing the thing directly, people coming and giving complaints to the governor, and governor start giving permission, then why do you need Lokayukta? Then why do you need DGP? Why do you need a police station? Anybody can go to the governor and give a complaint. There is the constitutional norms and the investigating agencies which has to do their duties. That has to be controlled and governed by the governor. Even the Chief Minister, the complaint is there against the Chief Minister. Fine, there is the complaint against the Chief Minister. Let him guide the applicants to go to the Lokayukta and lodge the complaint. If Lokayukta asks for a prosecution permission, then all this would come in place. This is completely unconstitutional, and we are against it because this is completely one phase unconstitutional, and BJP is trying to demoralize our government, trying to destabilize our government, which is elected to the people of Karnataka with 43% of votes, with 136 MLAs. Is this a way any government governor's office performs as such? We are not against. We have due respect to the governor. We have due respect to the law of this nation. We have respect to the law of this nation, as well as including the courts.
Maria, I'd like to intervene.
Dr. Sudha, my question is, and I'm going to take that point being made by Nagaraju ji a little ahead. You know, complaints came to the to be filed before the court. After the complaints were filed before the Lok Ayukta police, an application for prior approval and sanction was made before the governor of Karnataka. The question is also of the undue haste. Did the governor, of course he is supposed to be acting in time-bound manner, but did he actually follow the protocol, and could he have waited for the any kind of judgment or clear
Ma'am, one more thing.
Maria,
There is another
I'd like
investigation
to-
is going on by PN Desai, who is a retired judge, is looking into this matter.
Yes.
The findings has not yet come. He has not given the report. There is no report against Siddaramaiah government in this one, or again any allegations against Siddaramaiah by any commission or agency as such. But
Maria,
governor
let me
takes a
answer to your
unilateral
question.
So
decision
that's
because
why they are
the law
demanding that,
the law and
that this
Maria,
order
for the time
of
lapse.
sanction should be quashed.
Maria, let us go back to the history. When Mr. Siddaramaiah was the chief minister last tenure also, he has assassinated the Lok Ayukta of 162 cases, among which 64 cases were completely against him. One thing. Second thing here is the allegation what it is put on the honorable governor is completely very much wrong, because what is they saying is unconstitutional. No. Is absolutely not unconstitutional, because the document speaks very well what corruption has taken place. Instead of the land which he was supposed to get in that area, they have taken the land in some other Vijayanagara, which is supposed to be one of the expensive lands of Mysore, and the 14 cents have been taken. The document speaks a lot about it. And why did they squash? Why did they assassinate Lok Ayukta in their previous government? It is every time the Congress violates the constitution, they undermine the nation's foundation, the law, the constitution, and everything. And here also, they are inciting the public by violating. The stone pelting is done on the buses. They are completely derailing the peaceful state of Karnataka to the unrest state. And one of the MNC of Congress, Mr. Ivan D'Souza, he gives a very provocative statement that the sovereignty of the nation is threatened here, where he tells, if the governor is not transferred.
Okay, a quick response from you, Mr. Nagaraju, and then I bring in Dhananjay.
No, I don't accept the BJP spokesperson argument as such, because we have not abolished Lok Ayukta at all. ACP was formed there, but BJP had promised to come to power and reinstate Lok Ayukta in 24 hours time. The High Court to reinstate the Lok Ayukta. High Court is Lok Ayukta.
Mr. Siddaramaiah's government.
No, let me complete it, madam. Let me complete it. Lok Ayukta was not abolished in Siddaramaiah's government. ACP was formed at that time.
Sir,
BJP promised.
Lok Ayukta was abolished in Siddaramaiah's government, and ACP was bought. Why was it done?
Madam, let me complete
What
it.
is the reason
If you
for
are
you to
intervening with that,
abolish
I can also intervene with that.
during his tenure?
Please have some decency to listen to me. BJP had promised in manifesto to bring back Lok Ayukta within 24 hours of time they come to power. Did they do it? They didn't do it. They don't have any moral right to talk about Lok Ayukta. Let me tell you one thing, madam. Let me tell you one thing, madam. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell the BJP spokesperson is that. No, please understand. Give me a time. It is in 2021. It is BJP.
Okay, ma'am, please, ma'am, you have made a point. Dr. Sudha, let him respond. Let him respond. Okay, let me move away from the politicians. KV Dhananjay. KV Dhananjay, what is being said here is that granting sanction for prosecution should come under some kind of exceptional circumstances. In this particular case, there is no exceptional circumstance. And also, Mr. Singhvi's team, certainly he himself who travelled from multiple states. He was in Telangana yesterday, today he was in Karnataka, saving another chief minister of the Congress party, has put up a defense that will be seen as leading to the larger question of the role of the governor, the Raj Bhavans across India. And how they should be acting. I mean, discretionary power, what are the limitations and boundaries of discretionary powers also?
Well, first of all, I think one should not look at the larger picture, one should look at the narrower picture. And I doubt if anybody brought to the notice of the court today that the trial court, the special judge, was not just dealing with a case where Mr. Siddaramaiah was the sole accused. There were several other accused persons also. And if you look at the constitutional jurisprudence in this country, you would have thought that Mr. Siddaramaiah did not have a cause of action at this point of time to go to the High Court, because the sanction order does not affect him except when it is acted upon. It's like somebody, Marius, if somebody files a criminal complaint against you in a police station, you don't go to a court attacking the complaint, because the court would ask, look, did anybody file an FIR against you? please come to us after an FIR is filed against you. That is how all of these should apply. All of these, matters also should operate. But Mr. Siddaramaiah did not have a cause of action because it was entirely possible that if the trial court had been allowed to do its business, it was possible for the trial court to have said that whatever documents have been placed before me does not show the direct involvement of Mr. Siddaramaiah himself, so I cannot order investigation against him, but I will order investigation against the other persons who in fact got the denotification done, persons who authored the denotification order, because in this case, Mr. Siddaramaiah himself did not author the denotification order. So we are one of the most corrupt countries in the world, and sanction or prior permission have limited roles under the Prevention of Corruption Act. If you look at the Prevention of Corruption Act very carefully, you will find that invalidity of sanction or irregularity are all matters that will be looked into by the higher courts, not by granting a stay, but by holding elaborate arguments and by finding that there has been a failure of justice. Failure of justice, in a sense, means that an innocent person is being caught up here, or an innocent person is likely to be prosecuted. That was not the standard to which the High Court of Karnataka was led to come to today. It was that the order of the Karnataka governor, of course, does make many mistakes. It's not perfect. There's no doubt about it. Now, there is no doubt haste, so far as Mr. Abraham is concerned. But there was another complainant before the governor. He filed his complaint in December 2023. You will look at from the governor's order of sanction that the first paragraph and the last paragraph, you will find there are three complainants. One complainant went before the governor in December 2023. And what is this haste? At the end of the day, it's possible that the governor was looking at the complaint that was filed before him 8 months ago. And then he also found another complaint came before him. And then he said, okay, look, this is an important matter. I want to act, and therefore I am asking you for your opinion. Now, the cabinet has expressed itself, and they stood by Mr. Siddaramaiah, because otherwise, look, the cabinet is what it is because Mr. Siddaramaiah wants the cabinet to be that way. The composition of the cabinet is decided by the Chief Minister. It's appointed at the behest of Mr. Siddaramaiah. It's expected of them to say, we don't want you to proceed against Mr. Siddaramaiah. The governor took note of it, and the governor was also emboldened in this aspect by a 5-judge decision of the Honorable Supreme Court that said in matters like this, where the governor is asked to grant sanction to prosecute the Chief Minister, the governor could expect that the cabinet would not want the governor to do it, and the governor cannot be bound by the decision of the cabinet, because if the governor should be held to be bound by the decision of the cabinet, it would lead to a complete breakdown of the rule of law. Okay. These are the words of the Supreme Court, and that's precisely what the governor has cited in his order. The governor's order is not perfect, but Mr. Siddaramaiah also did not have a cause of action, because it's entirely possible that the trial court might refuse to, in fact, initiate investigation against him. So, one of the reasons why we are also one of the most corrupt countries of the world is that we can't agree on what sanction means, we can't agree on what prior permission for investigation means, and look at how much of time everybody takes over these trivial aspects. Because under the Prevention of Corruption Act, if you were to understand it carefully, all that matters is evidence before the court. If the court comes to a finding that somebody deserves to be investigated, it's so cruel on the part of other agencies to say, oh, we want to create these artificial barriers to proceed against this individual, to proceed against that individual. We have not given the opportunity to the special court to decide on the matter. We have not given them any opportunity at all. So these are tertiary arguments. And these arguments at the most, you will find most of the time, these arguments only have a political flavor. They don't really have legal substance in them. Because what happens if if the trial court were to order investigation against Mr. Siddaramaiah because they found there were materials against him, Mr. Siddaramaiah will go to the court, perhaps the High Court, and say that the trial court should not have come to that conclusion. That should have been the debate, rather attacking the governor's order of sanction, which on the face of it is not perfect. But I think it's all right.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, KV Dhananjay, Sandeep Shastri, Nagaraju Yadav, and Dr. Sudha Halkai. We have senior BJP leader Ashwath Narayan and former minister joining us. Thank you so much for your time. Of course, the BJP has been holding protests and demanding the resignation of the Chief Minister. But the Congress says that there is a larger conspiracy that you are trying to unsettle, or should I say, unseat established government, a democratically elected government.
The Congress, once they have been caught red-handed, the Congress party and the Congress government in the state of Karnataka, particularly the Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, he's been caught with the proof, all the discussion, you could see the evidence. what is available with regard to the Muda. It is not only just self-benefit. Even there's a bigger, larger scandal with regard to the 5,000 crores scandal which has happened in the Muda. And more than 1,500 plots been distributed among their well-wishers, their followers. All these things has happened against the law of the land. In this direction, we are trying to uphold. It is not any conspiracy. Conspiracy for the good of the people or for the upholding the law of the land. That is, if they call it as conspiracy, then the Congress stands completely exposed. Probably in this direction, this is the worst thing Congress party can do. It is not trying to, uphold the law of the land or protect the constitution or the democracy. They are completely been against. They're just trying to protect the most corrupt chief minister in the history of Karnataka.
But Mr. Ashwin, don't you think that those are very sweeping statements to make? Of course, you are in opposition, you will be levelling charges against the Chief Minister. But the larger question is also the role of the governor here. What the Congress says is that if anything, the governor has not applied his mind in going ahead with this sanction. A sanction which clearly is a violation of constitutional principles.
See, very clearly the prima facie is very clearly evident here. The prima facie is very clearly evident. And if you look at the series of events, not one or two stages from the year 1998, time and again, Mr. Siddaramaiah has misused his power, then as a deputy chief minister, afterwards chief minister, leader of the opposition. Every stages, it is not in one stage, it's in multiple levels. He has intervened, misused the powers for the self-benefit. And along with this, when the governor has given a permission for the prosecution, it is based on prima facie. And most even in the government, they had ordered a single-man inquiry committee. Mr. Venkatachalapati, he was an IAS officer, to look into. He has come out with a prima facie. Later on, why they have ordered for a judicial commission? Why was it? See, imagine a chief minister, the allegation is against him, and he can't decide what investigation should be done against him.
But there is also the Justice PN Desai Commission of Inquiry.
Yeah, Commission of Inquiry, he can't decide what he has to be done because the charges is against this chief minister. See, imagine this chief minister is deciding what should be the course of investigation against himself. And imagine what could be the ultimate fallout or what kind of inquiry will be conducted, what kind of justice can come out when he is going to decide everything. So, when serious allegation, it is not just, which can be brushed aside. It is very clearly evident. He was not even willing to have a discussion on the floor of the House. Imagine, the floor of the House, he was all free to defend himself. He didn't even allow the opposition to just raise the matter on the floor of the House. It shows very clearly he was on a defensive back foot. And
okay, my last question to you, are you not pronouncing him guilty even before investigation started?
He is guilty. I can tell you. I can straight away tell you he is guilty. He's been really caught red-handed in many more issues. This is one of the most important. It is not only him, it is entire his team, around 5,000 crores. Just imagine in Muda, more than 5,000 crores has been looted as a daylight robbery. It is very clear and evident. I'll tell you very frankly, it is not, not just, not only taking, we need to ensure the state of Karnataka's interest is protected, people's interest is protected, preventing from such a corrupt person. How can he himself being so corrupt? How can he prevent the corrupt?
Okay, tell me what is the BJP planning to do? Will you be continuing with your protests, and are you planning to take it up legally as well?
Yeah, definitely we are working on protest politically. Our protest will go on because state-sponsored protest is happening. Today it was sponsored protest has happened across the state, and one of their legislative council member has given, will do something like Bangladesh in state of Karnataka, will attack the governor's house. All these kind of statements, they are trying to, threaten, intimidate, and they are telling people openly in Mysore, in his own place, we are going to withdraw all the guarantee schemes if you don't participate in protest. This is a kind of cheap level. They are, stooping to all levels. Probably,
okay. We are still seeing several this entire chapter will be seeing, this entire episode will be seeing multiple chapters. Ashwath Narayan, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. Pleasure having you on my show. With that, it's a wrap from me. We are putting out all the discussion on ndtv.com. See you in a bit. Thanks so much for watching.